It was a chilly autumn evening when I first stumbled upon the infamous Blackwood House. The once grand mansion loomed before me, its turrets and gargoyles reaching towards the moon like skeletal fingers. As a journalist, I had always been drawn to the darker side of history, and Blackwood House was the epitome of mystery and terror. The locals avoided the place, whispering tales of unexplained occurrences and ghostly apparitions. I, however, was intrigued. I pushed open the creaking front door and stepped into the musty hallway. The air inside was heavy with the scent of decay and rot. I began to explore the mansion, my footsteps echoing off the walls. Each room was a testament to the family's dark past, a door hidden behind a tattered tapestry, a cryptic message scrawled on the wall in blood, and a series of antique dolls that seemed to watch my every move. As I delved deeper into the house, I discovered a series of journals belonging to Malcolm Blackwood, the family's patriarch. The entries spoke of an otherworldly presence that had taken up residence in the house, a presence that fed on fear and chaos. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being herded toward some unknown fate, that the house was guiding me towards a terrible truth. And then, I stumbled upon the last entry. It was dated the night of the family's disappearance, and it spoke of a ritual gone wrong. The words seemed to sear themselves into my brain as I realized that I was not alone in the house. I heard the sound of footsteps, heavy and deliberate, coming from the floor above. The dolls, once silent and still, now seemed to be staring at me with cold, dead eyes. I knew then that I had to escape, to flee from the clutches of the malevolent force that haunted Blackwood House. But as I turned to run, I felt a hand on my shoulder, a hand that was icy cold and yet seemed to burn with an otherworldly intensity. The last thing I remembered was the sound of my own screams, echoing through the empty halls of Blackwood House. When I came to, I was lying on the floor, my head throbbing with pain. The house was silent once more, the darkness receded, and the dolls were back in their places, frozen and unblinking. I stumbled out into the night, the darkness of Blackwood House clinging to me like a shroud. I knew then that I had to tell the story of the house, to warn others of the horror that lurked within its walls. But as I looked back at the mansion, I couldn't shake the feeling that the house was waiting for me, its secrets and terrors still hidden, waiting to be uncovered. The experience had left me shaken, but it had also sparked a newfound sense of purpose. I was determined to uncover the truth behind the Blackwood family's disappearance, to expose the dark forces that had driven them to madness and terror. And so, I began to dig deeper, to research the history of the house and the family that once inhabited it. I scoured the local archives, talked to the locals, and pieced together the events that had led to the tragic disappearance. The more I learned, the more I realized that the truth was far more complex and sinister than I had initially thought. The Blackwood family had been hiding a dark secret, a secret that had been passed down through generations. They had been involved in occult practices, had made pacts with malevolent forces, and had unleashed a horror beyond their wildest imagination. As I delved deeper into the mystery, I began to experience strange and terrifying occurrences. I would find strange symbols etched into the walls, and hear whispers in the dead of night. I knew then that I was getting close to the truth, that the forces of darkness were trying to silence me. But I refused to back down, refused to let the fear consume me. I was driven by a burning desire to uncover the truth, to expose the evil that had destroyed the Blackwood family. And finally, after months of research and investigation, I had my answer. The Blackwood family had been victims of their own darkness, had been consumed by the very forces they had sought to control. The house, once a symbol of their power and prestige, had become a monument to their madness and terror. As I stood before the house, now a testament to the horrors that had occurred within its walls, I knew that I had to share the story with the world. I had to warn others of the dangers of delving into the unknown, of the terrors that lurked in the shadows. And so, I began to write, to put into words the experiences I had endured, the secrets I had uncovered. The story of Blackwood House was one of horror and tragedy, a cautionary tale about the dangers of meddling with forces beyond our understanding. It was a story that would haunt me for the rest of my days, a reminder of the darkness that lurked just beyond the edge of town.